With 180s being a lot of the rage today, I have this new quadcopter frame here to review. It's the Deformation Insects 190mm frame. This frame kind of drew my attention because, well, first of all, it's a 190, and it has a slanted camera mount up here in the front. And it also looks like there should be enough space underneath for some ESCs. Now, I'm not real sure because I haven't seen any reviews for this frame, so I ordered it to see what it looks like. It comes wrapped up like this inside this bubble wrap, and I've already cut it open, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this out and take a look and see what all is included. Now, I haven't actually pulled all this stuff out yet. I just opened it up, so I hope I got it all. Yeah, looks like it. Okay, let me get this stuff spread out and we'll take a look at it. So here are all the pieces laid out, the 4 arms, the 3 plates, and the 2 camera mounts, and the bag of goodies. Let's go ahead and get some measurements on these arms and these plates, and we'll see what they come out to be.
2.66 on the first arm, second arm 2.63, these are all going to be relatively close. 2.62, 2.58, that's good. Let's see, these main plates here are about 1mm thick. This one here is 1.1.
Now if you look at this one, this is actually the upper plate, and it has the camera mount back here where you can mount a camera here, or antenna mount back here, or there's another one up here, and it also has this little cool looking spider. I'm not sure why that's on here because this is an insect and spiders are arachnids. That's a little extra information for you. And but here it looks up here, there's where the camera mounts in, and it has the holes for the spacers. And this is the main lower plate, and it comes in about 1.09mm too. So let me go ahead and see what's in this bag of goodies, and then we'll start putting this together. So here's what's actually included in the little bag of goodies. You have the spacers, some smaller spacers for below the frame, and a whole mess of screws. And this one has 3 of these little vibration dampeners, and that's because the vibration plate here, or the Mobius plate, or whatever camera you put on here, only has 3 holes on it. That's kind of interesting. Usually they have 4, but maybe it just has 3 because it's a smaller frame. Anyway, one thing I've kind of had a hard time with is these frames don't come with any instructions, so you kind of got to just figure out how to put it together yourself. Sometimes you guess right the first time, sometimes you don't. Let me get started on it. So I think this is how it's supposed to go together. First, it has the 6 spacers up here on top facing the top of the quadcopter frame, and then down below it uses these long screws, and here's one I didn't put together yet. But it uses these long screws that go down through the top plate, down through the arms, and then they'll go through the bottom plate where they're held on with lock nuts on the bottom. Now, it comes with these little spacers, but they're not really spacers. They're more like screw-on things. So you got to put it on here, and then it screws on like this. And so after it's all screwed on, it looks like you're supposed to be able to loosen these arms just a little bit, and then you can pull the arm up a little bit like this so it actually disengages from that first screw, and then you can bend them back to make it foldable. Now that sounds like a good idea, except I'm not sure how that would work if you, I guess you could do that. I guess it'd still work. It'd still be folded a little bit, but I don't know, it doesn't look very good. But anyway, so it unfolds like this though, and then they push into the screw here like this, and this would be a lot more steady if the bottom plate was on. But it goes onto there like that, and then you would use these top part of the screw and really lock them down so they'd hold on tight. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the rest of this together, and we'll see how it continues to come together. Here are the bottom plates attached, and you can see there's plenty of room inside there for your 4 ESCs to go down below. Now on this one, it has the 4 mounting holes up here for your CC3D or for your NASA 32. So your flyboard does have to go up on the top here. You can't mount it down on the bottom. I guess you could probably try if you wanted to mount it upside down or to the bottom of this plate. But it looks like it's designed to have the flyboard come up here on the top. So here's the completed frame, and the angle on the front camera mount is only about 10 degrees or so. I thought it'd be a lot more dramatic than that. But it has the 3 little anti-vibration plates up on the top, and that's what it looks like. So this weighs in around 59.5 grams for the frame. This is the ET200, and this is the Deformation 190, and you can see here the 190 is a little bit longer and a little bit narrower than the ET180. So if we stack these up on top like this, we get a little better picture of how a 180 versus a 190 looks. Looks like the front arms are a little closer together, but the back arms make it the actual 190. Is probably where it's actually getting the extra 10 millimeters from these arms being out a little bit further. Here's the Blade 150, and if we compare it to the deformation, then you can see here it's significantly larger than a 150. But that's to be expected, being a 190 versus a 150. So the ZMR 250 really dwarfs this 190. The arms on this have holes that are suffice for 2mm screws. So if you have a 2204 motor or larger with 3mm screws, they're not going to fit through these holes without having to drill them out some. When I kind of squeeze this frame, it feels like it's doing fine. I mean, the bottom plate flexes quite a bit, but maybe that's because these screws or these little nuts down here on the bottom aren't tightened up all the way. But the top plate, it seems to have a little bit of give in it when I squeeze it, but it's not too bad. The front feels solid, but I think that's just because these front spaces are up here, and so does this thing, help them protect or help them give it a little bit more rigidity up there. If you're a big crasher, this may not be the best frame for you to get, but I don't think these arms are going to break at all. I think that these spacers make this bottom plate and this thing and this arm work together a little bit to give it a little bit more strength. Let's see. I don't know. If you had the battery up here, it's going to add a lot of weight up to here, so if it crashes, that battery might throw itself forward, and these it's going to put a lot of strain on the little screws and the carbon fiber plates out here on the edge, along with these up here in the middle. But it should be all right, I think. But the whole thing, weighing as little as it does, this thing's going to actually have a lot of power even with a 3S battery and 1306 motors. Let's get another real quick close look at this so you can see what it looks like up close, and then we'll move on. To assemble this frame, you need the two standard size Allen wrenches. This is a 1.5mm and this is a 2.0mm. The 2.0 are for these long screws down here, and the 1.5 is for the little smaller screws to hold these spacers on. And you'll also need a pair of pliers to tighten these up, or some kind of driver to tighten those lock nuts up. So here's the 4-inch prop, and the 4-inch prop, if I center it over this motor mount here, it clears the whole frame and body just fine with no problem at all. The 5-inch prop, however, this is a 5. It clears up. It can clear the whole arm. Well, maybe it kind of hits down here on the post a little bit, but up here in the front, it's going to nail it a lot. There's not much chance of running a 5-inch prop on here unless you cut them down to maybe like 4.5 or something. But even then, it's still cut up here in the front. It kind of cuts in over inside the frame a lot. So anyway, 4-inch prop works. 5-inch prop doesn't work. It probably worked best with some 1306 motors, just because they can spin a 4-inch prop pretty well. A little better than an 1106 motor. When you mount your flyboard inside here, you're probably going to want to get the flyboard with the bent pins, just because there's not a lot of room inside here. In fact, it has about 30.2 millimeters of space inside here maybe. So if you had straight pins, you're going to be running into the top. Also, you don't want to get too long of spacers, because they're going to raise your flight board up as well. And if you're going to have your video transmitter mounted to the top plate like most people are doing, you're going to have it elbowing out the top here at this hole, so the antenna comes up here, or probably back here. And it looks like you're probably going to want to run your battery up on top of this, is what I would guess, because there's not much. If you put your ESCs in here, there's not going to be much to strap your battery strap to hold the battery on the bottom. So it looks like it's probably going to go up on the top. Another thing about this, it was pretty dirty when I got it, and then I have a lot of carbon fiber dust on my hands from, I don't know if it's from the carbon fiber or if it's just because the screws are dirty, but I'm guessing it's because of carbon fiber dust. And anyway, that's what this frame looks like. If you're interested in it, I'll have some links down in the description. If you are looking at some other frames, I got a lot of other frame review videos and more coming. So go ahead and subscribe if you want to see some more of these. And as always, thanks for watching.